Now we are going to start the integration of backend APIs with React UI. Now to connect with backend APIs, we need some client, basically to call the HTTP APIs, REST to call REST APIs. One is we can go with using the fetch API in JavaScript, and another one is we can use some library like Axios. So let's install here Axios, npm install Axios. Now once we install the Axios in the code, then at here let's create a folder and we'll call it API. Now at here on the UI, the first thing that we need to do is when application start, we need to fetch the categories. So the categories data is required because when we'll click on the women page, it will fetch the records. It will fetch the products for the women category. So for that we need a women category ID. Now at here let's go back to the API, and here we'll create files constant.js, fetch categories.js, and one more we need fetch products.js. And now in the constants file, let's create a constant export constant API URLs. Now at here in the API URLs, we'll define some URLs like get categories, so we need at here get products, and if we want to fetch a product by ID, then we'll use a URL get product, and in this URL we'll pass one ID, and then the URL that will generate API/product, and here let's give this ID. Similarly, let's do for the category also. This is for category. Also, let's add here a base URL. This base URL basically will keep in the environment file, but to just start it with API connectivity, I am keeping it at here API base URL. Later we'll move this to environment file. So this is our constant file. Now let's go to the fetch category.js. So at here we'll write a method to fetch the categories. So let's write export constant fetch categories. Let's use this as async. Now here we don't need to pass any argument because we are going to fetch all the categories from the DB, so we don't need any ID or any specific argument here. We'll call constant URL equal to API base URL plus API URLs dot get categories. This is the URL for fetching the categories. Let's add a try catch block here. So at here, in the try catch block, we'll do constant result equal to await. So this is how we can call the Axios await, because it will Axios here, it will return the promise. So on the first place, in the first parameter, we need to pass URL, and then at here we can pass the options. For example, method get. Now because it is a promise, it will wait once we get that result, and then at here we'll return result dot data. Okay, so and at here we do, if there is an exception, we'll return a promise reject, but just let's add it at here, console.log error. Now this is the function to fetch the categories. We have added it here in the API folder to just make it the project in a structured way, to more maintainable and easy to use. So now in the shop.js, we'll use effect here. So basically, once this component rendered into the browser, use effect will trigger that function to call the API to get that data. So inside use effect, we'll write categories, because this will return and promise here dot then response, and then dot catch categories response. Now let's start this application. PM start. Also we need a backend server to be up in the local, so let's start this backend server also. Okay, the React application is started. Let's see, backend server also started. So if we go to this network, this code is failing. So let's go back to the code. If we go at fetch categories, API base URL, this is the URL. So now we see we are able to get the response for the categories, and we are getting 2 categories. Now the next thing that we have to do is, when we get the response from the API, we need to set it in the store. So in the store, we already have created card.js, product.js. This is not we are using, but just to add it as a placeholder, I created these 2 slices at here, and also added the store. So in the store, so for this we do need 2 dependencies. One is I've added here Redux toolkit and React Redux. So once we add these 2 dependency in the package.json, the next thing that we have to do is we have to create one folder that we can call it any name. Let's say we have given it here store. Then we need a store.js file where we'll define the store. So this is the store, and this is the function which we can call to configure the store, and this is the reducer. So if you have, if in the So if in your application there are more than one reducer, we can use this function to basically combine all these reducer into one, that is root reducer, and then we can set it in the store. So at here there is three feature.js files. Basically these are these states for managing cart, this is for managing product, and this is for managing user, and this is a blank, we'll add it later. So here what we are doing, let's say in the product.js, this is the initial state that will setting an empty array, and then here we are creating a slice, product slice, and we are giving it the name product state, and these are two reducers that we have added for this slice. Now once we create this slice, we need to export the actions. So here we are exporting that actions from here, and then we are giving it as a reducer also. So this is this file we are making as a default product.slice.reducer. And let's add here one more file that we'll call category.js. So this is for the category reducer. Now let's here first we'll create an initial state. And let's give this categories. Then we'll do export constant category slice, create slice, here we'll give the name category slice, initial state, and then here we'll give the reducers. For category we need one reducer. For now let's say give it load category, and here we'll expect there will be a state and action, and let's return it state. Then I will say categories action dot payload. Okay, export constant category slice dot actions, and here we do export default category slice reducer, load categories. Now this is the reducer that it will default export for this file, and here in the store.js let's add that reducer. We'll call this as category state, and then category reducer, import category reducer from features and category. So this is what we have created for the store. We have added one category state, and now let's go back to this index.js. So once we define the store and reducer and export the actions, the next thing that we have to provide is basically the context for that store. So here we are calling that provider. So we are getting the provider from React Redux, and in that we are passing the store object. So this store we get it from this file in the store that we have added it here. We need to make sure our application is wrapped in the provider, because if we wrap in the provider, then only we'll able to access the global states. Otherwise we'll get an error. So in the UI we have called fetch categories. In the fetch categories we are getting the categories. So if you have seen, we have successfully able to call the categories API, but in the controllers, if we go at here, so we need to add here course origin. I've added it, but I'm going to add it again, and let's try this now. Let's start this application. So let's do this change. Here we'll call this as show this app. I just changed the directory here. Even on the GitHub also we have changed the directory. For the UI we are keeping the code in the UI folder, and for backend we are keeping it in the backend. Okay, so the application has been started at port 8080. Now let's go back to the VS Code, and here also we'll start the application. So here we do see this is able to call the category, but we are getting the request 2 times here. This is because if we go back to the VS Code, we are using a strict mode somewhere, yeah, at here. So let's remove this. Okay, so let's refresh this application. Now we can see it is calling only one time the API call for the category. Okay, so now here we are able to call the API. The next thing that we have to do is on the shop.js we have to set the data that we are getting in from the category API. So for that we have created here the load category section in the category slice reducer. So let's go back to the shop.js, and here, so in the shop.js we'll create one dispatch, use dispatch. Okay, so once we get the response from the API, we'll set it at here, dispatch load categories response. Also let's update these dependencies, dispatch basic, dispatch mainly. So now if we see when it is making an API call, there is no any loader, basically the spinner on the page. So let's add a spinner here. What we'll do, we'll create a component. So in the components, let's add a folder that we call it spinner. In the spinner folder we'll add a file, spinner.js, and let's do rfce. So this is the our spinner components. We need to basically copy one code and paste it at here. So this is basically a HTML code to display the spinner, and this spinner will use it in the shop application wrapper. So let's see in the components. So at here we do spinner. So now we see there is a spinner coming on application, and now this spinner we have to display only when we are making any API call. So let's add one more reducer in the feature that will call as common.js, and in this common.js we are going to put a loading state. So let's do export constant initial state, and in this we'll do loading false, and here we do export constant common slice, create slice. Let's give this name common slice initial state, and here we'll be having reducers. In the reducer we do set loading state action, and here we return state loading action dot payload. So this is our common slice. Now let's put here export constant. Here we'll export the actions. We have only one action in the reducer, that is set loading, and let's put here export default common slice dot reducer. Okay, so let's go to the store. Now we have to use here that common slice, the common reducer. We'll call it as common reducer from features, and let's do this at here. So this is our store file. We have added here common reducer. Now let's go back to the shop application wrapper. So at here we'll do constant is loading use selector, and let's put this at here is loading and then spinner. So from anywhere in the application, when we set loading as true, here will display a loader. So from any pages, if we are making any API call, we just have to set it loading as true, then the loader will display, the spinner will be displayed on the page. So in the let's go back to the shop.js. So at here in the shop.js, now we already have dispatch. So let's call this dispatch set loading true, and then finally we'll set it as false. Now let's try this. So when we refresh the application, Here we are setting it as loading true, and then at here false. If we go to the shop application wrapper, let's remove this from here. So in the reducer, we need to give here common state. Now we see when we are opening application, it is displaying a loader, and once category API gets success, it hides the loader. So now the next thing what we'll do, when we'll go to woman, it will basically fetch all woman product details. So irrespective of the category, we'll call API to get all the products for that category. For example, if we go to man, we'll get all the products related to this category. Okay, so if we go to this product list page, we are displaying only the some detail about the product, like image, title, brand, and price. So the API that we have created, we are returning everything, all the fields in the response, but we need at here only some minimum details. So let's modify the API. So in the product controller, in get all products, let's go to get all products. So here we are not doing any mapping, we are simply returning all the products. And one more thing that we needed is we need a thumbnail. So we don't need to return all the images when we calling get all products. We can only return up one image, that is a thumbnail. So let's go to the product DTO, and here I've added private string thumbnail. So now if we call this API to get all the products on base of category, we do see here it is returning all the details in the response, but we don't need on the first load these details. We only need when we click particular product item, then we'll fetch all the details about the product. So now in the API, we are going to make some changes. Let's create one mapper class at here. So all these things we'll put it in the mapper file. So let's add here new Java class. Let's first add the package. And here we'll create new Java class, and let's give it name product mapper. And let's give this as component. So basically, if we have to initialize any entity of the class, we can annotate with an component. So now at here, let's move all that code from the product service impl. Services. So at here we return product. Let's change this to public, and we need a category service instance here. So let's auto add private category service. And from here let's auto void private product method. This is basically map to product entity, product DTO. And now at here we'll call that method to get the product details, get all products. Let's change this to product DTO. Also in the product controller class, this to product DTO. So now here we'll call list of product DTO, product DTOs, and here we'll call product mapper. So here we'll call product mapper dot get product DTOs, and the product DTOs will pass all these products. Simply we can return like this. And in the product mapper, we'll create a method at here. So now in the product mapper class at here, we'll return products dot stream dot map. Here we'll do this map product to DTO, and here to list. And this method will return product DTO, and here we'll do return product DTO dot builder. So here we'll map every detail about the product that we need to return it in the response. Now here I've added all that fields that we required to return in the response. And in the get product thumbnail, I have kept it here one function basically to get that product thumbnail from the resources. So in the get product thumbnail, we'll basically calculate the value which has the get is primary true. So we'll return only one image that has the value is primary true. So just add it here. Let's add return resources dot stream dot filter. Similarly we will return like at here with filter resources, get is primary, and find first or else none. So this is the method that will call to return the product thumbnail. So now we have make these changes. Let's go back to product service simple class. We don't need to edit here. So let's restart this application. So application is started. Let's go now in the Postman at here. Now in the response we are getting only the fields that we need to display on the product list page, and also we are getting one thumbnail image. Now let's integrate this API with the UI. So let's go back to the UI code. So in the product list page we are getting it category type here. Currently these are the products that we are displaying on the product list page. Now let's go back to the UI code. So now here, once we get the request of for any particular category, right, so here we'll fetch the data for the category products. So if we go to that fetch categories, now here in the fetch categories we need to, in the fetch products we'll add a method here. So now in the fetch product we'll add one method here to call the API and get the data. So let's do export constant get all products. Here we'll do ID and type ID. Now let's create a URL. Let URL equal to API base URL, then API URLs dot get products, and here category ID equal to and let's check here if type ID. We'll do URL equal to URL plus, basically we'll concatenate here the type ID. So let's do and type ID equal to type ID. Let's add try catch here. And here we'll simply call this method await Axios URL and get. So this function we'll use to fetch all the products. Now let's go back to the product list page. So in the product list page we need left side data. So currently we'll fetch this data from the content. We can also write one API to get all the filters and display out in this section here. But now let's focus only on this section where we'll fetch all the product details based on category. So here we'll call use effect. Get all products. So in the get all products we need to pass one category ID. So for the category ID we'll put it here constant category data use selector and state dot category state dot categories. and in this category data we'll add here one use memo constant category. So let's find the category here. Return category data dot find element. Here we'll check element dot code equal to category type. So this will return the category, the selected category. If we go to man page, it will return the man category, and if we are on the woman page, it will return the category of woman. Now in the get all products, we'll set it dispatch set loading true. So let's use a dispatch here, constant dispatch set loading. We'll import the set loading. Let's go to store common. From here we'll get the set loading. So next, now we call here get all products. And here we'll pass that category ID, category dot ID. Now this will return the promise. Let's write the promise syntax here. Basically then and catch error. Also we need to add dependency category and dispatch. So here, because this is the product list page, we don't need to set this in the store. So we'll just maintain a local state here. So let's create one state product set products use state. By default this will be an empty array, and once we'll get the products, we'll set it at here set products, and here we do response. So this basically set the products from the API. And let's add here finally. And in the finally we'll set the dispatch set loading false. Now here we'll get all the products that we need to display on product list page. We are not going to touch these filters. This we still get it from the content only. And let's put it at here category dot description. Now here in the map we'll basically replace with these products. So for these products we need to add one field here, the title, because for each product we get the title in the name field. So here we'll just pass this as product, or let's say item dot name, and also let's change this to item dot category ID. or let's say just we can change this to item.id, then plus index. So let's start this application. It started. Let's refresh it. Okay, now if we go to the women's, we can't see any of the product here. Might be we need to restart our backend server. Also in the product controller, we need to add it here, course region. Okay, so let's restart the application. The backend application also started. Now let's refresh it. We are getting the category response at here. Now if we go to women, this is making an API call products with an category ID, and we do see here we are getting all that product details in the response, and title we are getting it in the name. That's why we have given it in the product card the field title with map with along with the name. Now the next thing we'll do here, when we click on product item, so currently in the backend DB we only have one product for this category, women, and if we go to men, so here for the men we are getting two products. Let's change this to women. So now when we click on product item, this has to display the product detail view page. So for this we are getting some errors because we have to make some changes to integrate with the API. Now here in the product card that we are using it at here, let's go to the product list page. So in the product card we are giving it the product along with ID. So our URL will be product/ID. So here if we need something like slug, or that can be index, and for search engine optimization we can use a slug here instead of ID. So the path that will display here, that should be some meaningful name for that product. So what we are going to do is we'll basically use a one slug parameter in the product. So let's go back to the ID, and in the product DTO, or also in the product entity, we'll add one more field here, and we'll give it name private string slug, and this will hold a unique value. Also this column cannot be null. Let's give it unique true. Now here we are going to make some changes in the product controller. So we have here, we have get all products. Now here we'll add one more request parameter. Let's give it request param required false, and here we'll give string slug. So here we'll check if string utils is not blank slug. Here we'll do product DTO equal to product service dot get product by slug, and let's pass this slug here. So here we'll ask product service to get the product by slug, and this will return a unique product that will be identified with the path, basically the slug field. So let's add the method in the product service. Now we need to implement this method at here in the implementation class. Let's implement method. Now here we'll do product repository dot find by Here we'll do find by slug, and let's pass this slug. Now this find by slug, we'll add it in the product repository. Product find by slug string and slug. Here we'll check if null is equal to null double equal to product. We'll basically throw an exception, throw new resource not found. Resource not found exception, product not found. Else, otherwise we'll return here product DTO. So let's map this product DTO from the mapper class, product mapper dot map product to DTO. Basically we'll add one more method in the mapper class that will map the product entity to DTO, and let's pass product here. In the product mapper class, the method map product to DTO is private. So let's change the access modifier at here. We'll give it as public, and let's map one more field that we'll call slug. Also we need to add in the product DTO. So let's add here private string slug. Product dot get slug. This method will create a product DTO that will map the product to the product DTO fields. And now once we get that product DTO at here, so we need some more details like the resources and variants details. So in the product service simple, so in this method get product by slug, we'll do product DTO dot set category ID, and this category ID will get it from product dot get category get ID. Let's map all other fields that we needed, like the category type ID. This is also will get it like product dot get category type dot get ID. Category, now here category ID, category type ID, we have mapped it. Now category ID and category type ID, we mapped it at here. And now let's also we need to map the two more field, that is variant and product resources. So we'll call product DTO dot set variant. It will call product DTO dot set variants. Now the set variants will expect the type of product variant DTO. So we have to map it. That also we'll call product mapper dot get variants. Let's add that method. Also at here we need one more mapping, that is for the resources. So let's map that also. So this is one more statement where we are mapping the product resources, and then we'll return it product DTO at here. Let's add this method. Now these two methods, we need to implement these two methods. Return we'll add return product variants dot stream dot map this map product variant DTO to list. This will return the product variant DTO. Here we'll do simply like product variant DTO dot builder, and after that we'll map all that fields that we required in the product variant DTO. This all are that fields, and in the last we'll give build. So this is for the product variant DTO mapping. Also we'll do similar like for resources, return resources dot stream dot map this map resource to DTO as list or to list. And let's create a method. This will return product resource DTO. Here we'll do return product resource DTO dot builder. Here also we need to map all that fields for product resource DTO from the resource object. So let's go put it. This all are that fields which we build. Now this is the mapping that we did for getting the product by slug. Also let's add here one more controller that basically will call to get product by an ID, get mapping. So here we do ID public response entity product DTO get product by an ID. Here we need to put path variable yo ID and ID. So simply here also we'll basically call this product DTO, but here we need to call it like this, get product by ID. Send this ID and then we'll return the product DTO at here. So now here we'll add that product into the list. So let's copy this and we'll put it at here. Let's create this as an array list. Here we'll add product list dot add product DTO. So product list is equal to product service get all products, and will return product list in the response. In this method, get product by ID will return the same statement just to change product DTO at here. Okay, so let's add this method in the product service class. So this is the method. Now we have to implement this method. Let's go on the top, and here we'll get this implement method. Let's add it. So we'll add a similar logic the way we have added get product by slug. Just we need to change it like this. At here we'll call a product repository dot find by id, and in the id we'll pass this in the arguments id. Also here we'll else throw new resource exception. Okay, so at here else we'll call this similar methods for the mapping of product into the product DTO, and this product DTO will return it in the response. So this is the changes that we did for the product controller. Basically we have added a support to get the product by slug, and also a method controller to get the product by id. So now let's start this application, and also we need to test it through Postman. So let's open the Postman also. So let's try first get product by an id. So this is the request for the product, and this is the id that we are passing it. So let's send the request. So here we now getting that response id, name, and also along with there is some details about that product like the images and product variants like the color, size, stock quantity. All of these things we are getting it in the product DTO response in the object for the product API by an id. Now the same thing we'll try with using this slug. So at here we'll pass get all product. So now instead of id we'll use slug. So let's try this now. So this is the product that we are getting it in the okay. So here we are getting it the product by an slug. So here we are getting all the products. Let's see. Now here we are calling. Okay, so one more thing that we need to add it here, the else block. So in the else block, if the slug is empty, then only we'll call this product list equal to get all products. Let's restart this application. Now let's try this request. So here now we are getting all the details related to that product slug by the product by the slug. Let's change this slug to something else like test. So here we are getting not found exception, the not found error. Also let's add one more API in the product controller, that is to update the product. So at here we'll create one more method, put mapping, and let's use this public response entity. It will return product, update product. In the method we do at request body product DTO. Let's call this product service dot update product, and here we'll pass product DTO. In the response We'll simply return this response. Let's copy paste it here, and the status code will send it okay. So let's add this method. Let's go to the product service simple. Now here we'll implement this method. This is the method. So now here we'll do product equal to product repository dot find by id product DTO dot get id or else throw not found exception, new resource not found exception, product not found. Okay, so once we get that product at here, so if the product is not null, we'll call product updated product mapper dot map to product entity. Now we use this map to product entity while creating the product, like at here. So the same method we'll use to update the product also, and here we'll send it product DTO. But when we are doing update, right, we do need to make some changes in this method. So in this method map to product entity, we are every time we are initializing a new product, but this is not the case like we have to do every time. Now because we are using map to product entity for the update request, so we have to make some changes here. Product DTO dot get id will set product dot set id product DTO dot get id, and here we'll check null is not equal to. Okay, so after this, when we are mapping the product variants, at here also we need to check if that id is present, then we'll set it that id in the product variant. So let's do that at here also. If null is not equal to, product variant DTO dot get id also. Let's add in the resources, if null is not equal to, product resource DTO dot get id resources dot set id product resource DTO dot get id. So these are the changes that we have added it here. Now in the product service simple, we just simply return this update product. Let's inline this variable. Let's go to the postman. First we'll get product by an id. So this is the product. Let's copy this product, and now we'll use this update product request. So let's try to update some field. The price will make it 59.99. Let's send this request. Okay, so we got the response for this request. Now we do see price is get updated. Let's get product now by an id. So we are getting this price now in the updated product. Okay. Let's copy this ID and we'll go here. So in the product controller, we are updating product. Let's go to product service info, find by an ID, map to product entity, and we are setting it as here. Also, we need to send some more fields that we have edited new, like set slug product dto dot get slug. Okay, so the issue is we are not calling it at here the product repository dot save. So because of that, we are getting that issue. The request is we are simply returning it at here. So the body that we are sending it in the update product, we are simply returning it in the response. So let's go put it product repository dot save. So this is, we need to return it. Now let's restart this application. So first let's call this product by an ID, which will give us the product detail. Now this is the object. Let's copy this and we will put it at here. Now we'll update one field. Let's change it to 55.99 and we'll simply send it for the update. So in the response we see the price gets updated. Now let's call this get product by ID. Yeah, we see the price gets updated. So this is the request for product by ID. So now let's integrate this product request with the UI. So now on the UI, when we go to women category, on the network we are making an, so in the network we are calling it the product API, get all product API. So now when we'll click on this item, this is returning some errors, but let's open this product detail page. Now in the product detail page we have to make some changes. First we need to make changes in the use loader data, that is the product that we are getting it from the content JSON. So let's go here, load product by ID, which basically we change this to by slug. So first in the product detail page, in the product card, sorry this is, so in the product list page, in the product card at here, we'll change this to slug. So now when we click on this, we do see here there is a slug on the path. Let's go to this product. Here we'll change this to load product by slug. Also in the route.js, we'll change this to load product by slug. In the API folder, fetch products, let's add one more method. Give it export constant get product by slug. So first we create a URL, constant URL equal to API base URL plus API URL get products, and here we do need to concatenate slug equal to slug. So let's put it in the try catch. Now simply we'll call constant result equal to Axios await Axios URL method get. And return result dot data. Here we'll put console dot error. Now we'll use this get product by slug at here in the load product by slug. The first thing is, when we are calling this method, we need to display the spinner. So we'll first call this store, because this is a JS file and because this is not a component, so we need to import it store directly here to get the dispatch function. And in this method we'll basically put like this, try store.dispatch set loading true, and here constant product equal to await get product by slug params.slug, then store dot dispatch set loading false, and here we return product. We don't need this, let's remove it from. Now let's go back to the product detail page. First we'll remove this. So the first thing is, let's comment this categories. Okay, now once we get this product, we need to use this product to display all the details in this page. So let's put some states first here, the states that we require in this page. Constant similar products, set similar products, use state, so the similar product logic will remove it. Let's remove this. Basically here we'll make an API call on the basis of category type and category type ID to get the similar products. First let's call the store here to get the categories. So this is something we get it, the categories. This. So in this use effect, where we are setting it image, and basically just put this product or thumbnail. Okay, and let's remove this logic. Name here. Also, we need to change this product category. So this is the category that will get it at here. So category.id, product.category ID. This will give us the product category. And here let's calculate the product category type, product type. So here we calculated the product category. How we can calculate product category? Because we have here all that categories data, and from that categories we are finding on the basis of product.category ID. So in this we'll get it product category. Now this product category we'll use at here. We'll call product category dot find, sorry, category types dot find item, and here we set item dot id equal to product dot category type ID. And if product type, we'll simply just put in the array link dot push product type dot name and product type dot name in the path. So let's change this to product resources. We don't need this. And here we do item dot id, item dot url, on click also here we don't need pass item dot url. So now let's just refresh the page, and we go to women category, click on this item. We do see it is calling the API. Now here we'll see all that details. This is images. Also the title is not coming. Let's go to this code. Here we do need to display the product.name. Let's use this here. So we are getting all the details, but we are not getting similar products and sizes and the colors. So the sizes and colors we need to calculate it from the objects that we are getting in the response, the like variant and product resources. So we need to calculate it like in the product variants. We have multiple objects, but we need to find a set of this field color. So for example, in this product we have just two colors, blue and black. So we need to calculate a set of these. So to do some array manipulations or calculating the logics or creating the objects, we can use a Lodash library. Let's install Lodash here. Npm install Lodash. So once we install this library, here we can use import from notepad. Now we need to calculate the color and sizes at here. Now we need to calculate the color and sizes. We calculate it like put it in colors in use memo. And this will change when the product will change. We will call dot unique dot map product dot variants color, and let's run this color set. Similarly, we need to do it for sizes, so let's put it here, sizes. Or we'll send this in the product colors, also here the product sizes. Select size, here we are displaying color and sizes. Now we can select multiple size here, but we need to allow only select one size for product. Here we'll add one more row, multi. By default we'll set it as true. Here we'll check if multi, then set size applies this, else we'll remove the previous and put it the new one here. So now once we select one size, after that when we select the next one, it is size. Now let's go to the product detail page. Here we'll set it that multi as flag, multi flag false. So now when we selected one size, and if we're going to select the another one, the first one will be deselected, so it will allow only select one size. Now here we are showing all the details. Only the thing we need to display similar products. So for the similar products, what we'll do, we'll call one use effect here, and in that use effect we'll call get all products. Basically we'll get the product by an category ID and category type ID. So let's call it get all products. Here we'll pass product dot category ID, and in the next argument we'll pass product dot category type ID. So the response that we'll get it here, we'll set it into the similar products. Anyway, we don't need to display a loader because we can make this a background call. So let's refresh this. Now we do see this is the product is coming in the similar product, but we need to add a one condition. We need to basically filter that response, and response dot filter excluded product response dot filter there will check item dot id is not equal to product dot id, and we'll set this in the similar products. So because this product has been excluded from the list, that's why we are not able to display any product in the similar products. But let's go back to this category. In this page, let's see where we are using description. We need to add a safe check here. So even if description is null, we should not throw any error. Okay, so because the slug is empty, that's why we are not able to see that product. Let's copy this category type ID, and we are going to add a slug for this product. So get all product by an category type ID, and let's use this. So we'll copy this the first product ID, and let's call this get product by ID. So we'll copy this and we'll put it at here. Let's change this slug. So here we'll put black t-shirt. Also for the another product, it is a white hoodie. So let's use this get product by ID. Copy the product and paste it at here. Let's add the rating for this slug. Will add here white hoodie. So now let's go back to this category. Now we do see here we are getting that response for this product. Let's go to back, and now for this product also we are getting it in the response. So this is we have integrated the APIs for category and product. So just to conclude it here, when we are loading this application, we are making an category API call, and this category details we are setting it in the state, in the global state, and then when we are switching to any category, let's say man or a woman, then we are making an API call to get all product by category ID, and once we get that response, then we are using a slug from this product, and with that slug we are able to get that product details, and we are displaying it in the product detail page. The next thing that we'll do is when we click on add to cart, this item will update into the store, and when we'll go to the cart page, we'll see the added products there.